Hi guys. So today I wanted to do another installment in my series on how to fail. Dot dot dot. So today I want to focus on how to fail at university. So full disclosure, I actually succeeded at this eventually, three times. So that's good. But the first time was a little bit difficult, and the thing is that I know that I'm not the only one who went through this because I've spoken to other people who had a hard time with their degrees or trying to make it in university. So I think like if I just share a little bit of my experience and what happened with me the first time around, maybe you could find some help in that and not feel so alone. The thing is that, and I know this will sound corny, but as I got older, it got easier to do because I was more focused. I was more dedicated. I didn't have the same issues. Because as you grow older, you change, and like I've gotten to this point where I love academia. But in my first degree, it was tough. It was tough because I'll go through the things that happened to me. So, firstly, and I do want to apologize. I'm a little extra nasal, but that's because I have my sinuses going crazy right now. So, I want to start with the first thing that why I failed in the beginning. Okay, so honestly, I thought that I was alone. So this video, I hope, could appeal to younger people and older people who are pursuing degrees or starting university, and this is their first time around, or even struggling with their second or third or fourth time, maybe. I don't know, but I just hope that it could give some comfort to some persons. So the first time around when I started my degree, I I don't think that mentally I was prepared to be in the position that I was in. The first thing is that I didn't really get to do what I wanted to do. Um, I didn't have a clear vision of what I wanted to do. I was always all over the place. Like, I loved arts. I loved auto mechanics. I loved the environment, the ocean. Although I was deadly afraid of swimming with the fish, So eventually, I got to this point where I really wanted to do something focused on the environment, and I did kind of get into that, but I specifically wanted to do marine biology, like my major, and I wasn't that wasn't available to me in my situation because of the university I was going to, and it would have cost a lot more if I wanted to do marine biology somewhere else, and I wasn't sure, like, if I could afford it or any. Actually, I think that it would have been difficult and I wouldn't have been able to afford it. So I started doing something that I liked, but it wasn't my first choice. And that's okay because the thing is that it sent me along a path where I really love what I do, right? So sometimes these things work out, or you just have to make the best of the situation. But let's start it. So I got like distracted, to say the least, with a lot of things that happen at universities, with friends, with parties, with being uh, not dedicated to just the school work or just the academia part. I was more engrossed in the other activities, right? And I had also a major contributing factor is that this is hard to say, but I let relationships um, with a significant other be so important that it dictated a lot of what my life was like. That And those were bad things, and I started spending a lot of time just focused on those other things, and I wasn't doing good in my classes. I wasn't attending classes as I should. I was doing the bare minimum. And it's not because, like, I'm not, like, I'm not capable. I am capable. I was capable of doing well, but I just wasn't focused, and I wasn't doing the work. Okay, so I let the university life cascade in this kind of way, and the extra things about university life and being on your own for the first time, and it's basically like I wasn't prepared to handle the other stuff in life besides the academic part, and because of that, it suffered. So we all, in a way, the victims of our circumstances. I'm not saying anything is bad or anything is good, like where you came from or where you go in or anything like that. And the thing about it is that I always felt, the further along that this went and the more that I was struggling, is the more alone I felt. So I didn't talk to people, and I didn't talk to other friends who were going through something similar, or things like that. I mean, like, there's a huge graduating class, like, for every year, but some people don't make it, and it's not because they're bad people. It's just because sometimes university life gets to other people in different ways, and for me, it was it was really, the first thing is that I felt really alone the more that I failed classes and needed to retake classes, and stuff like that. And the thing is that I when I did finally open up to friends, when I finally gained that confidence to talk to people, it was way down the line. That made me feel really, really alone, and it stressed me out. And the more it stressed me out, is the more I gravitated away from classes or anything like that. And that was what was one of the major contributing factors why I struggled in that first degree. And the thing is that you are not alone. There are other people that feel the same way, that go through the same things that you're going through. And at that time, that group of friends that I was hanging out with, I mean, they didn't remain my friends over the years, but they just weren't right for me. They are still friends with each other, but for me, it was different. Like, I needed to find people more to on my speed, like, wanted to do the things that I wanted to do, and that's why you shouldn't limit yourself, because when with friendships, you should talk to people. You should, try to diversify if you can't. I mean, if you're an introvert, I understand it's really difficult, but don't let the feeling of that failure and everything make you feel like you're alone. You're not. You're not alone. You just need to be able to get over that and understand that this is something that a lot of people go through, and you could get over this. Okay. um Secondly, I want to talk about procrastination. So the next thing was that every time that I decided that, okay, I'm gonna focus, I'm gonna do better, I'm gonna, like, I'm barely pulling through, I need to, like, throw a lifeline, I need to get there, I would procrastinate because it ties into that same feeling of being alone, and it was just easier to choose the less strenuous thing to do. For example, there was a night that I went out before an exam that I had, and I went out with a group of friends, and we went out all night. Now, we were all actually studying, and then somebody suggested, hey, let's go out and go to this club. And it cascaded into like a bunch of bad ideas, and it was like everybody was like, okay, okay, let's do it, and we all got hyped up. And so we all went, and we had a really epic night. And then when we got home like at 8 o'clock in the morning when people were going to work and we were coming home from partying all night. And I always remember that night as like all of us, I think, failed the exams that we had the next day. But the thing about it is that now, in my much older state, maybe I remember that night like now I'm telling you the story, or probably mention it once in a while with my friends if it ever comes up once every 10 years or so, maybe. And we all were like, oh yeah, that was an epic night. But that's all that we do about that night. But at that time, I was like, oh man, if I don't go, I'll miss out on this and stuff like that. And I really like, I was like, oh no, that I could do this exam. You know what I gonna learn in the night. And I'm a big fan of like, yeah, use all your time, even if it's like 2 hours before the exam. I know some people are different, and that works for you. But what works for me is studying all the way down. So what happened was that yeah, we all basically probably failed that exam. I can't remember about the other friends. And the thing is that it was this really epic night, and I don't regret my life because all the stuff that happened I could share with you now. But if I had support from people who experienced the same thing, or like people were more open about talking about this stuff, I may have felt less alone, or I may have made different decisions. But I don't regret the decisions that I already made. That makes no sense. So, you know, it's just that something that seems so epic, so grand, now to me it's just a fun memory. And that's all it is. So procrastinating on like doing the things that you should do, and then you choose to do the easier thing, or the thing that will make you instantly gratified, sometimes is not the best idea. But this is a really hard thing to work on. I mean, like your whole life, you can still be working on this. I guess that I do work on this sometimes. Like, I think that I started knitting as a hobby, and I have procrastinated on it. I'm still like this much through the scarf that I am trying to do. So, it's just something that's really difficult to work on, but you can do it. You can work on this. You just have to know that this is what you're working on. The other point that I want to make is, okay, this one is another tough one. So I had very little confidence in myself, or who I was, or who I am at that point in time. And I know that this one seems like, yeah, okay, just have confidence. But it is. It is as easy as just have confidence. Everybody is going through their own lives. Everybody is doing their own thing. You don't have to be confident in other people's lives. You have to be confident in just who you are. And okay, just own that shit. Like, okay, I'm failing my courses right now. I need to get this shit done. I need I need to like talk to my lecturers. I need to talk to my friends. I need to try to find a way to get this done. And that confidence is really hard to get. But what helped me is knowing that you know everybody else around you is feeling, or most people, not everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, a lot of people feel that lack of confidence. All I'm trying to say is that be confident in yourself, of who you are, not anything else, just who you are, and own that shit. Own that you are failing, own that you need to do something, and own that you are going to do something about it, and just go about it with that air of confidence. Yeah, and I know it sounds really dumb because it's like, yeah, okay, we'll just do that. But I think what helps is knowing that you're not the only person who's going through this. So pull that from somewhere, pull that confidence from somewhere, because it took me a long while to not care and just be like, yeah, this is who I am, you know. And the thing is that I eventually got there because the thing when I realized that I was not alone, I actually opened up to a friend, and this friend was actually in a very similar position to me. And then this friend and I decided to help each other, and that's basically how we ended up finishing. Is that we helped each other, we were there for each other, and we said, okay, we're gonna speak to the dean about our situations, we're gonna do what we have to do. And we were talking to each other about the credits that we had to make up and the courses that we had to take. And it it didn't matter what anybody else thought. We had each other, and we could talk to each other. We knew what the other person was going through because we were going through the same thing, and we didn't have to feel that lack of confidence. We it gave us both that confidence boost to finish what we started. Okay, so the last point that I want to make is about being ashamed. And this all ties in with everything else. Obviously, you can't be ashamed of what has happened. I know everything is designed in this way to make you feel like a failure and feel like you are not worth it, or that you blew it, or that you're, not good enough. And that's just not true. It's not true because the circumstances of what happened to you, or what happened to me, or what is happening to somebody else, we just don't know. Society is not perfect, and the younger generation has, I think, has a better grasp at this than I did, or my generation did, when we were younger. But the thing about it is that you're not a failure, and you don't have to be ashamed. You're just the victim of some decisions and choices, and that is life. If you are a failure, then we're all failures all the time. Seriously, because in life it's an endless series of decisions to be made, and not all the decisions will lead you in a good position or anything like that. There's a lot of pressure on you now to do something, to prove yourself in a specific setting, which is a university setting, and that is something you signed up for. Yes, but if you fail because of some bad decisions, or that you just weren't aware, or you weren't mentally prepared, there's a lot of extenuating circumstances, and you shouldn't feel ashamed for it. You have to let go of that shame, because that shame is just going to eat you up and make you worse off. So, you know, the thing about it, as I said, I know all this may seem like really, really difficult. Easy said, easy to say, but very difficult to do. All I want you to know, and the first thing that you should know, is that you're not alone. There are lots of people who have been in this position. There are lots of people who have failed and then succeeded. I'm literally telling you, that's me. And like, I know how I felt then, and I wish that I could just like give you all that knowledge that I have now, all all the all that I went through, and how it impacts you, and how you change and grow. But that's not how life works. So this is the best I could do, is like share a video with you. But I really, really, really hope that you could find that little message that I'm trying to tell you. You are not alone. You're not a failure. Don't be ashamed. Just pull yourself together. Go and talk to who you have to talk to, and get your shit done. You could do this. you can definitely do this because I did it. Okay, guys. So I hope this was helpful. Bye. Hey, thanks for watching, and no pressure, but if you like and subscribe, it would be pretty great, but it's not necessary. It's just for, you know,